I was the good wife. I was a great wife. And you know where that got me? Divorced.
When a man tells you he likes sports, what he usually means is that he likes watching TV. As a divorce lawyer who's watched women carry the whole household while he carries the remote, I can tell you this: those habits don't build a future. They chip away at it quietly, year after year.
But men are allowed to indulge in sports in a way that women are never granted for their periods. Like, women are expected to work, still take care of their children, still carry the emotional load of their families, or still lead their families in specific ways that women lead their families. All of these things, right? But
Yeah, man. The lack of consideration, the lack of accommodation is, I mean, it's criminal. I truly do feel bad for women for one thing. I mean, not just one thing. And that thing is women are not allowed to rest. Women aren't allowed to exist. There's always an expectation put on women to be performing or to be doing some labor or something like that. Women can't just sit back. Women can't just kick their feet up, watch TV, eat bonbons. If they do, then they're called lazy. Even after they've done everything in the house, when they can't just sit down and rest, right? Without being judged. Women do sit down and rest. Don't get me wrong sometimes, but they can't sit down and rest without being judged. Um, and for that, I feel extremely bad as a man because men we put such a great burden on women to do these things to perform, and we don't help out enough, and we don't show up the ways that we need to, and we just allow women to and expect women to just take over everything else that we don't want to do. Um, and I think it's pretty interesting uh, because I've talked about this a good amount of times, even before, like in my personal conversations with men, and I would talk about how, you know, having hobbies, watching sports, playing sports, working out, blah, 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 blah. Like how all of those things are just distractions and ways for men to escape. All of them. Last week I did a video on this. I almost want to make this like a weekly thing. I'm not gonna do it, but I almost want to just because my ADHD. I can't really like if you guys don't know, I can't really stick to like I can't do like reoccurring shit. Like I have to like talk about different stuff. So it's a gift and a curse. But I'm gonna talk about this like as much as possible because men need to understand that it's so much deeper than men just being able to, like unwind or whatever. Because I heard men saying this earlier on the live I was on. It was like, so men just can't unwind. And I'm like, no, men can't just unwind. We can't unwind until everything is done. We have to have the same dedication to taking care of everything like women do. Then we can unwind. But men prioritize unwinding over everything. We think once we get home, we get a cold burr and that's it. Expect from women. They expect a woman to be like this. And then what do the women get out of it, right? Is the question.
The best wife who ever wifed. Other husbands used to say, I wish my wife could be like you. I kept an immaculate house. I penny pinched and stretched every dime that man brought home. Dinner was ready every single night when he walked in the door. If I left town for any reason, the refrigerator was filled with pre-made meals, each one labeled with cooking instructions. The laundry was done every day to the point where he could wear the same outfit day after day after day. I managed the finances, paid the bills on time, and paid off our mortgage 5 years earlier than we thought. I took care of the kids. I handled as much as I could put on my plate. Remembered all of the details, including his family's birthdays, bought all the gifts, scheduled every appointment. I made sure the kids were groomed, well-mannered, and quiet when he entered the house. And I greeted him with a cold beer and a "How was your day?" I could go on, but I think you get the point. I was the good wife. I was a great wife. And you know where that got me? Divorced. That's where it got me. All those years paid off. And now, here I am. Divorced.
What is in it for women to be like this? He gets to come home, he gets to unwind, he gets to drink, he gets to drink his burr, he gets to watch his games. What do women get? That's what I'm saying. Like it's crazy. And then it's just and you can just see how selfish men are. You just see how selfish men are like over and over and over again. The expectations for women is to always be working and doing labor for men, while men, this is what men expect.
When a man tells you he likes sports, what he usually means is that he likes watching TV. As a divorce lawyer who's watched women carry the whole household while he carries the remote, I can tell you this: those habits don't build a future. They chip away at it quietly, year after year. I've had plenty of women in my office who thought they were marrying an athlete, only to realize they married a spectator. When women say they like fitness, they mean they're in the gym at 6 a.m. When women say they like cooking, they're actually in the kitchen whipping up meals. But when a man says he likes sports, 9 times out of 10, that means he's on the couch yelling at a flat screen, critiquing people half his age who are actually in shape and actually doing the work. There's nothing wrong with watching a game, but let's stop pretending that sitting in a recliner with chips and beer is a hobby. That's not discipline, that's not skill, that's consumption. And when his love of sports becomes the center of his free time, what that really means is you're marrying into a relationship with a TV schedule. I've seen marriages crack because Sunday football mattered more than Sunday dinner. I've seen women beg for quality time while their husbands gave more attention to fantasy leagues than to their actual families. It's not that men don't have the capacity for focus and passion, it's that too many of them reserve it all for the screen. Watching other people chase their dreams doesn't make you ambitious. Critiquing other people's performance doesn't make you accomplished. If his biggest hobby is watching sports, ask yourself, what else does he invest in? What else does he build? What else does he commit to with the same amount of energy? Because you can tell a lot about a man by how he spends his downtime. Does he grow? Does he create? Does he challenge himself? Or does he sit on the sidelines of his own life, memorizing stats about men he'll never meet while neglecting the team he actually has at home?
That was a sermon straight from the pulpit. That's, you see the woman that's like, oh, I bring the car, I did the beer, I did this, she was married to that man. She was married to that guy that she just described as a divorce lawyer. And guess what? That lady ended up divorced too. That's what it is, man. And men will not check, like, men just, the entitlement, the laziness, the lack of attentiveness, the lack of attention, the lack of care, the desire to escape. Men claim that they want families, men claim that they want children, but then don't do anything to support the women or support the children outside of go work a job, which you was gonna do anyway. I love how men be like, I watched a video from a dude and he was saying like like this woman was saying like what her Thanksgiving Day looked like, and she was all frantic and like getting everything together and stuff. And then she was like, what my husband's Thanksgiving Day looks like, and he was just sitting back and he was watching sports and he had his feet up. And the guy was like, like you would have been cooking anyway on Thanksgiving. And I'm like, no, I don't know. Women wouldn't be making Thanksgiving dinner if they were single. I wouldn't as a single man. Like, I didn't make Thanksgiving dinner and I'm married with a family and I had my family over. I catered it. I don't want to fucking cook and I don't want my wife to cook. I don't want either one of us to cook, you know? She cooked a little bit, by the way, and I cooked a little bit, whatever, but she did the vast majority of the cooking. But yeah, I catered it. And every year, some years I cooked and whatever, and I made whole meals, but no more. I'm never doing that again. Unless my wife wants to cook, we're catering it every year, and I'll have my whole family over. I don't care. I'll pay for we can have 30 people over. I'll pay for everybody. I don't care. I'm not making my wife cook fucking Thanksgiving dinner, and I don't want to cook it either. You know what I'm saying? The expectations that men have for women is like the women have to do every fucking thing the men don't want to do. That's the reality. And men get to sit back and drink and watch sports and smoke weed and play video games and so on and so on and so on. It's really crazy to think about all the hours that I spent early on when my child was born playing video games or watching football or watching basketball. You know, my wife had to nip that shit in the bud pretty quickly. But yeah, like I had to, like I had a small child and I was like playing video. Like, how the fuck can you play a video game with a small child? And men will sit up here and be like, oh, so you mean to tell me I can't? No, you can't. You can't. A time will come when you'll be able to, like my sons now, they're at the age where you don't have to always occupy them. That's been a recent thing, by the way. But yeah, before my son was always in our face. Always. What are you doing? What's going on? What are we doing? Huh? Where are we going? What are we doing? Now, he has his friends. He'll talk on the phone. He'll have his friends over. My other son is watching his TV. Yeah, that's a relatively new thing. But there's a long time when somebody needs to be playing with them babies and paying attention to the babies. And it can't always be on the motherfucking mother. You know what I'm saying?
I just watched a video about a woman explaining what if women had something like football that takes precedent over all things, and we're not allowed to bother women, where women are allowed to throw their responsibilities to the wayside and just have this thing. And it made me think about something. Men in that comment section understood that football is this phenomenon that they're allowed to just indulge in and, sit down for hours throughout the day and just consume.
I want you guys to listen to just the actual hours, right? Monday Night Football. This year, it was 2 games for like half the season. But let's just say normally is one game Monday night is 3 hours. One game is 3 hours plus, like 3 hours, 30 minutes. But let's say 3 hours. That's on Monday. It's 3 hours on Monday. Then Thursday, another 3 hours. So that's 6 hours, right? 6 hours throughout the week gone. Then Sunday, there's 3 games on, but there's 3 games. I'm sorry, there's 3 time slots. You got 10 a.m. game on the West Coast. So you got the 1 a.m. game and the 4 p.m. I'm sorry, the 1 p.m. and the 4 p.m. game, or the 10 a.m. and the 1 p.m. game, depending on where you're at, right? 3 hours apiece. That's 6 hours. And then you have a 5:15 game, 3 hours. 9 hours on Sunday plus 6 hours during the week is 15 fucking hours a week minimum football consumption. Minimum. And most men don't just watch football. They watch basketball and they watch baseball and they watch hockey or some combination, right? And they also have to watch all the talk radio, listen to the talk radio, all the sport. I mean, you're talking 20 hours a week. You work 40. You work 40. You see what I'm saying? You don't have the time. You don't have the time, bro. Couple hours here and there. You know what I'm saying? Couple hours here and there playing video games. Couple hours here and there playing sports a week. Fine. 3-4 hours a week maybe to the hobbies. Fine. That's a lot. To be honest, that's a lot, man. 3 hours a week. That's a lot. That's a lot. Pick one game to watch a week and watch it and be done with it. Pick one game a week of football to watch. Do that shit. Try that. Don't watch no ESPN. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to tell y'all. The hours don't add up, man. And y'all leaving all that work for your wives and for your girls, and for your mothers and your aunties and everybody else watching your fucking babies. That's crazy.
But men can't understand why women would ask for the same kind of legal or social or cultural consideration when it comes to their period. Something that's biological that happens every month for most women, most biological females. That's something that they have to deal with, and it's not optional. Whereas watching football is optional. Either you're a fan or you're not. But that's like all sports, MMA, basketball, whatever, right? But men are allowed to indulge in sports in a way that women are never granted for their periods. Like, women are expected to work, still take care of their children, still carry the emotional load of their families, or still lead their families in specific ways that women lead their families. All of these things, right? But when it comes to men in football, we're going to the bar, we're going wherever we're going to a homie's house, we're kicking it on the couch, and you better not interrupt the football game. Like, it is a culturally accepted thing that men and sports is just allowed. Like, time is carved out for it. But when it comes to women and periods, it's like they're not even granted a day or two or a slot of time that's like, cycle started, here's these accommodations for women. And it's crazy that men can understand why football has all these accommodations and all this cultural, social acceptance, but can't understand why women asking for the same thing for like periods and stuff that they don't have an option in. They don't understand that. Like, that's taboo. That's well, women shouldn't be working then if that's the case. It's like, but when it comes to the things that we do, we don't understand that we're allowed to just do these things. Like, they're not.
We're allowed to do the things because women do, they do all the work that we don't want to do. So whenever we're doing something that we want to do, a woman is doing something that she has to do. That's what I'm saying.
The same, but I'm using these examples to show how distorted our view on women and things that men do is. Like, it's a very distorted viewpoint, and I just think it's hilarious that we are allowed to indulge in very male dominated things like sports, and that is just it's allowed, like, is expected. But women's periods, that is quite literally a biological thing that they cannot just, oh, I don't want to have a period this month, is not taken seriously at all. It's used to downplay, it's used to discriminate, it's
It's used,
used to
it's used to shame.
harm women because of something their bodies do. We don't have to watch football. We don't have to play video games. It's a lot of things that men are just allowed to do, and let your fiance, girlfriend, sister, mother, whatever, interrupt you while you're doing these things. It's like, leave me the F alone. Like, that's the kind of energy they would oftentimes receive. But when it comes to their periods, it's like, oh, here she goes again. She's acting this kind of way on her period. She's this crazy person on her period. But it's like, DV rates go up when sporting events and different things like that happen, and we don't talk about that.
But DV rates don't go up when women are on their periods. You know what I mean? Like women don't DV their boyfriends and husbands and babies when they're on their periods, but men DV their wives and girlfriends and children when they're watching a fucking football game, win or lose. It's not even connected to a loss. The wins too.
Like I said, this is not a one for one. Like, in a debate, this would be a some type of fallacy, because it's not the same thing. But it's not a debate. I think this is a very good point that we need to really, like, unpack. Like, why is there so much precedent for this one thing and the other thing is just seen as like, oh, whatever.
Because fuck women, that's why. That's that's the patriarchal thinking. That's what it teaches. Because fuck women, right? Who cares? Yeah. Periods. Yeah, we don't care. Oh, you have to watch the babies. Oh, we don't care. Like, that's the patriarchy. You're the mother. You're the nurturer. Like, that's crazy. This dude is this is such a great and valid point. And yeah, man, the lack of consideration, the lack of accommodation is, I mean, it's criminal at this point. I don't know how else to say it. It's wild. You know, I joke with my wife a lot about how like I was talking to her about like how last month, before she had her period, she like what like we were chilling in the bed, and it was like probably like for like 6 hours. It was like we were talking, and she just was like real like, if you're gonna do that, then just do it. Like just like that. And I was just like, oh, okay. You know, like I didn't get mad or whatever. It was whatever. And then at night she was like, I could, like normally we're always like lovey dovey and like hugging each other and spooning back and forth. And, we put our legs on one another in the bed. We're just always like touching each other. And I don't know how people are in the bed, but me and my wife are like always like, like I'll like put my foot on hers and she'll put her butt on my back, or, she'll just lay with her arm on me and she'll be on her phone. We always doing that stuff, right? And she just like wasn't like that in the bed that night. Just little stuff like that. And in my head, I was like, I mean, I knew I was like, I ain't doing anything wrong or nothing like that, So I was just like, I wonder if she's like about to getting on her period. Like that was how my mind thought. And then lo and behold, like within 48 hours, she was like, oh, I started my period. I was like, like, it's okay to like not get, like match your wife's energy all the time. It's okay, man. It's okay. It's okay for us to make accommodations for women, especially when they're going through stuff physically. It's okay. They hold that shit together well, by the way. Like, take that little one night of like, whatever it was, whatever, water under the bridge. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? compared to men not being able to watch a fucking football game without yelling, berating their wives, punching on their children, slapping their women. You know what I'm saying? Like women they handle their hormones better than us. They regulate way better than us. All that stuff, way better. And we still should make accommodations for them. Still, absolutely, they still deserve it. And that means that we need to get off them fucking video games and unplug from them TVs and all that shit. Unplug from them sports and all of that shit. Absolutely. That's a part of it. Helping them out more.